Yes, sir. What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy Dean Ali, aka Don Squally, and in today's video, we are back at it with another Forza Horizon 5 build video, starting things out in that wide body Stingray. Man, this thing is a greasy. But if you guys can tell from the video, you guys probably already know what build we're doing today. I don't. I'm just going to skim through a few of our options here and see if I can find something that I think's halfway decent that we can build for the channel here. Lots of BMW options. I am a big fan of the BMWs, not in real life because I don't got that kind of money. But I'm just going to skim through a few options, let you guys know when I can find something that I think's going to be, you know what? Chevrolet has that Impala Super Sport for 20 grand. Now, if you guys saw my video, my previous video, how to get a Chevy Impala on Forza Horizon 4, I'm pretty sure these cars were quite expensive, and here we are now. We can buy the thing brand new off of the auto show for around 20 grand. Now, for those of you guys who know, the Impala SS did come in these three colors, I think for 1 year only, which I don't even know what year this is. Every other year, they only came in black. I think for us starting out with the build, we're probably going to change the color on this thing. But I think we're going to have to start out with that black paint job. Now, say what you want about like the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, the Porsches and stuff like that. Anytime I do like a real world car that doesn't have, I mean, the Impala SS, it does have some performance aspect to it, but I mean, you got to think this is from, there we go, 1996, old school V8 rear wheel drive. I mean, you know, these kind of cars, for whatever reason, really do draw in a lot of views. So I think this would be a perfect car. I mean, we've done a couple videos on Horizon 5 already, but I think this will be a good car for us to, you know, continue the streak that we got going on here. So engine swap wise, I'm thinking we're definitely going to have to swap an engine into this thing. Now, it looks like we got a 6.7 liter V8 turbo diesel, and I'm really interested to see how that's going to work. Now, is it some, you know what? We're going to do something out of the ordinary. Let's throw in that turbo diesel on this thing. Now, we are going to keep the drivetrain rear-wheel drive. Now, I'm interested to see the kind of power numbers this thing can make. Usually with diesel vehicles, you see, oh, we got the cop car special. I don't think they had that in the last in Horizon 4. I don't know. Maybe they did, and I just didn't use it. But yeah, I'm interested to see. Normally with diesels, they have a high torque figure and not necessarily a huge horsepower number. Now, what are we? We got a little lip. I mean, barely noticeable, but we might as well add it on here. But I'm expecting this car to make some serious power numbers over a gasoline engine, and because of that, we're gonna need some serious tire on this thing. Now, I'm thinking we're probably gonna go with the slick race tire compound. Now, I'm not sure what the go-to tire is for a street car. There are, I mean, when you think of slick, you don't really think of like a street car. You think of a track car, and you know, no tread, very, you know, when you're not on a track, very slick and easy to spin the back tires out. So I'm interested to see how this big old boat handles. Now comes the fun part, and that's the wheel and tire combination, and this is where I think I can really bring this build together and either make it or break it. So I'm going to let you guys know when I find something that I think's going to suit this build. Those are interesting. Now, I do want to put the American Racings on here because I do think that this car does deserve like a traditional 5-spoke. I think I'm going to keep looking, and I do like this style with the black, little bit of a concave on there, the chrome lip. Let's go ahead and throw this on here just for the time being. We might come back and change this. And now I think this thing deserves some 21s. Back in the day when I was in high school, Chevy Impalas, you know, these types of cars, town cars, Crown Victorias, things like that, notorious for throwing big dubs on here. And I mean, realistically, nowadays 21 inches isn't even that big of a wheel, but back then it was rather impressive. Now you see trucks with 20s from factory, and it's common, right? But I remember my buddy had an F-150 with 20s on it, and it turned a lot of heads, and this was, you know, quite a while ago. So things have changed, but I think for this specific build, it's not really going to be out of place for us to have a 21-inch wheel on here. Now I think we're going to upgrade the clutch and then also upgrade the transmission. So we're going to throw in a drift, rally. I think we're going to put in a race drift because I do want this thing, we're going to put in a race diff because I want this thing to get sideways. Next up, we're going to upgrade the brakes because this is a very big car, and I think this thing's going to need all the help that it can get in order to stop properly. Next up, I'm thinking we're probably going to go with a race spring and damper setup. Now, I am compelled to put a drift setup on here, but we're going to make some minor adjustments to the suspension and make it hopefully handle a little bit better than the setup that we have here. As far as weight reduction goes, I think that's a given. Now with a car like this, big body, old school, very heavy, I think weight reduction is one of the cheapest, easiest things you can do to get pretty much instant performance. Now for the engine, now keep in mind we are working with a turbo diesel here, so I'm going to do the basic, diesel things, upgrade the turbo, upgrade the intake, upgrade the exhaust, and possibly injectors. Do we have an option for injectors? Fuel system, let's go ahead and upgrade that. Now we're looking at some pretty serious numbers. Very low revving. You know what? Now that I'm seeing we don't even have the option for a camshaft here. I'm really taking a gamble here with this build. We'll see how it works out, but as it sits right now, really, I mean, doesn't even sound like a diesel. I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google this after and see exactly what kind of diesel this is, so I can put it in the title of the video. But I don't think we're gonna have any problem with the camshafts here. We're gonna just go ahead and install this setup. As it's sitting right now, can't toggle the stats there, but $73,000 build on top of the $20,000 car. Sitting almost around $100,000 for this car, but I think it's going to be worth it. Next up, we're going to jump into the designs and paints here. Now, typically, I would want to keep a Chevy Impala black. If I ever own one, I think this would definitely be the color that I would want it in, but given the fact that we're making a YouTube video and I do want the title to look more appealing than your average Impala, I think we're probably going to go with, I don't know, I'm going to skim through the colors here. I think red really suits this car. Now, do we go with the candy red or the bright red? I think we're going to go with that candy on here. That's looking pretty dope. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, I did actually own a Chevy Impala. It was a 2003, so it was like the Outcast. It was the first front-wheel drive Impala I think that they built after this car was retired. So it didn't get a whole lot of love, but me owning that car kind of gave me, a soft spot for Impala. And I know for a lot of guys, the gold standard is like the 6.4. But for me, this Impala was always my favorite. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just, I always had dreams of owning one of these. But obviously, when I was young, too broke to afford one. So the idea for me was to always buy like a Caprice and then put the Impala body kit on it, wheels, grill, all that good stuff. But the idea just never really came to be. Where am I going here? We need to jump into the custom tuning. So what I want to do for this setup is basically just lower it as much as possible. I always love these cars when they're low, and I do want to put some camber on here because I feel like with the wheel spacers that we have on here, I think that this thing, I think we're going to need to camber in the top of those wheels in order for it to look half decent. So now that we got all that stuff out of the way, I think the only thing left to do is take this thing out for a ride and see how it performs with this diesel engine. Now, like I say, very low RPMs, but just after hearing it when I was putting the modifications on it, I don't think this thing's gonna have any problem putting the power down. Now, if you guys do know what car, or what truck, I should say, I'm assuming it's a truck engine, that this motor came out of, a 6.7, I think it was. What is that, a Ford? It doesn't sound like a Power Stroke. I mean, it really doesn't sound like a Duramax, and a 6.7. There's a good chance that this is a Cummins. Inline 6, 6.7 liter turbo diesel. I mean, that sounds about right. I don't know. I'm going to have to Google it so I can put it in the title just so we can clickbait you mofos. But overall, I mean, this thing, for the size of this car and how heavy it is, this thing's definitely moving. Now, is it going to be able to handle? Is it going to be able to win races? Probably not, but this is one of those cars that when you get out there and you just want to cruise around and enjoy yourself, this is, I think this is one of those builds that you're just going to enjoy, right? Now, one thing that I am noticing, we're topping out our transmission in 4th gear here. Now, we do only have 4 gears, so I think one thing we're going to have to do, you know, before we end this video is probably throw a transmission in here. And I'm hoping we can get some shots in daytime, because through the, you know, over the course of us modifying this car, it went from daytime to nighttime, and we're not getting any love here. But in the meantime, I think we're going to have to upgrade the transmission on this thing, and it looks like the sun, I don't even know, is the sun coming up? It doesn't look like, it might be cresting the horizon there. Horizon, see what I did there? Where is our transmission? We're going to go ahead and upgrade the transmission. Now, does it tell you how many gears you get? That would really, oh yes, okay, so we can do 9-speed, 8-speed, 7-speed. Now, I'm really noticing with these newer cars in this game, you're getting a lot of 10-speed, 8-speeds. You know what? I just want a classic 6-speed in this thing, so I'm hoping the race transmission is that. So we're going to go ahead and install that right now. An additional 2,400 credits. Now, I think we're going to have to just pull off to the side here, let everybody pass, and really take a good look at this car. Now, I love the paint, the red brakes matching, black wheels with the black tint. I mean, I know I said that I would have wanted a black Impala, and that's just basically the like I say, the gold standard. But I mean, this red with the red brakes, black wheels, and the black paint, I mean, this is very 90s, and I'm not mad at it. Now, with the diesel, really lacking for traction, and we got the widest tire on here, and we do have a race slick. Like I say, I don't know if that's the best tire for this car. Let me know if you guys know down in the comment section. But yeah, man, overall, I'm really happy with this build. I think it's going to be great for drifting. If you can just get a handle on this thing, you know, the amount of power and how low it revs, and like, see, I just hit the gas a little bit and we spun out. If you can manage the power with the weight on this thing, I do think this thing could be a real drift weapon. But nonetheless, hope you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button. I think we're probably going to pull off here and take our little screenshot for our thumbnail here before it looks like it's getting dark again. Or I might just be in an underground passage here. Just go ahead and restart that there, because I did like this nice sunny spot for our thumbnail. I'm thinking we are probably going to put an end to this one. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you guys do have any requests that you want to see in Forza Horizon 5, definitely let me know down in the comments section. I mean, we're going to try to keep up with the daily uploads. It's kind of been a struggle, you know, trying to maintain personal life, family life, as well as a work life. But, you know, I'm excited to bring this content to you guys, especially since this game is so new. And, you know, this channel was basically based on me playing Forza Horizon video games. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe. And I'm thinking that's pretty much it, man. So as always, I'm your boy Dean Alley, a.k.a. Don Squally. And we're going to catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace. Recovery of a lifetime. Oh fuck! Oh no! Oh fuck! Yeah, just keep on rolling there. Yeah. Don't worry about the racer or anything.